Hey everybody, it's Eduardo with the PIRE Team, and today's video is looking at the numbers from February. So I know we're always looking a month back, but this is how we can actually look at the trends, and because we actually have the data. And so what you guys can see on this opening slide is there's a big difference between where prices were last year and where prices are this year in February. So as you can see, the median price in 2021, we were looking at 461,000. This year, we're looking at 539. So that's $80,000 that have been basically bumped up with regard to where the median price of homes is in the Sacramento County area. You can see when it comes to the number of sales, we're still pretty much on par, if not a little bit stronger. So the number of sales are pretty consistent. It's not that we're closing less deals, is that there's less homes on the market. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. The number of days on market, we're still looking at just under a week. That means from when a home comes live on the MLS to when it's actually in contract, it's taking about 6 to 7 days. So it's still moving fairly quickly. The number of bank-owned homes. So these are the indicators that we would be tracking to see if there's a potential drop in price. If we were to see these shoot up, that's where we could potentially see a bit of a price drop because all of a sudden there'd be a number of homes entering the market, and we're just not seeing that. As you can see, last year in 2021, there was 5. If you look at 2022, there was 4. When I look back at 2012, there were 650 that closed. There were foreclosure homes that closed in 2012, which is kind of at the bottom of the market. So that kind of gives you an idea. And that's when we talk to people about where the numbers are going. There is literally nothing on the horizon that predicts the possibility of a price drop. Hopefully, there's a price leveling is what we're kind of hoping for this year. And again, I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. And then kind of still connected to that conversation, the number of short sales. So these are homes that are underwater and so are selling for less than what they were purchased for. There was 2 last year, 1 this year in February. So again, all that data is just kind of telling us it is not a market that's at a precipice. It's still a market that's strong, and it's still, working in favor of sellers. So when it comes to looking at this over the long term, you can see that when we're just looking at pricing relative to 2017, which is as far back as the data goes. And again, as always, want to thank Ryan Lundquist for pulling all of these graphs together. You should definitely follow him at @SacAppraiser if you just want to keep on top of all of this information. So thank you, Ryan, for all this wonderful data. So again, looking just at where the median price was in 2017, so 5 years ago versus where it is today. If you were looking at January 2017, the median price, meaning half of all homes sold below this, half of them sold above this, was at about 340. When you then jump forward to January 2022, the median price is now pushing 560. So that's a $220,000 gain in 5 short years. So that gives you an idea as you look at this, kind of where the market has been and where it's going. And you can kind of see it a little bit more viscerally in this graph, and it kind of gives us an idea of what we're hoping to see with regard to trend lines, right? So starting with 2016, 17, 18, 19, this is 2020. So you see that the market is pretty much following the standard trajectory. But again, come March 2020, when all of the pandemic closures were announced, you see a dip in the market. But then by May, June, people are starting to kind of get used to it. And you see the market just pick up and then fly off, jumping, closing out at 450 and then starting the year close to 490 on the median price. And you just see this huge gap between where it has been and where it was in 2020. And then you kind of see this little line up here, which is where 2022 is starting off. So again, if it follows this same trajectory, we're honestly hoping for a little bit of a more level type of an incline because affordability is decreasing pretty much by the week. And so we're hoping for something along this line, not such a steep incline between now and kind of the high point of the market, which is June, July. And so being able to kind of then level out for the remainder of the year. So I caution for those that are thinking like it's just a matter of time before prices come down. There's nothing on the horizon. Again, it's hinting at that reality. So just giving you an idea that, that home that may be listed right now, we'll just say 565, judging here from 490 to at the top point 565, that's a $75,000 difference. That 565 home could potentially be worth 630 come summer, right? So just kind of keep that in mind as you're looking at when's the right time to buy, and happy to help you think through that strategy that's specific to you and your circumstances. So here's just some numbers for the county. I'm not going to go into all of them, but definitely feel free to pause or reach out if you want these specific graphs, or follow Ryan. But just again, the median price of last year versus this year. Last year was $461. This year it's $539. That's nearly a 17% jump in pricing in a single year. Number of sales, again, were fairly comparable. So we're still kind of seeing things move in one direction. When you look at just month over month, so this is looking at January 2022 versus February 2022, you see that we're still seeing a 3% price growth, which honestly is where we'd like to see it. Between about 3 to 7% is reasonable. What we've seen in previously for last year, especially, we were seeing this in the 10 to 15% month over month. And so a 3% price growth is closer to what a natural price growth has been in the market. So that's good. When you look at multiple offers in the market, we're seeing that still about 2/3 of homes have received more than one offer. And so you're still seeing that it's trending in that direction, but we're lower percentage wise of where we were last year. So last year, about 70%, so almost 3/4 of homes have received a multiple offers. Right now we're at 2/3. So it's not necessarily saying that there's less interest in the market. It's just kind of hinting at the fact that based on what we're seeing on the market, homes have to be priced right. So if you're on the sell side, make sure you're pricing right. And we can talk through some strategies on that. But you're still seeing a lot of activity happening in the market. Here, we're also seeing a slight uptick in the number of homes that are coming to market, right? So we're still well below, and I'll show you in the next slide kind of what that looks like. But we are starting to see a few more homes coming to market than we have over the last few months. So if you kind of go back to October, that's the last level that we had about this much inventory, and it's been declining ever since, but we're starting to see it kind of tick back up, which is great. And here's just to kind of give you, again, that historical trend line with regard to where the number of listings have been in the Sacramento area. And, this includes Sacramento, Placer, Yolo, and El Dorado. If you look back to, 2016, on March 1st of 2016, there were over 3,000 homes that were listed in the MLS. When you jump forward to 2022, we're looking at just under, maybe it's about 1,200, when we're looking at this graph. So we're talking about half as many homes being on the market compared to 6 years ago. And so that's definitely what's driving that price growth, is the lack of inventory. And so we're still kind of continuing to have to operate underneath that. So this was just a quick overview of what's going on with the market for February 2022. Hopefully it was helpful. Happy to dive in more detail. If you have any questions, you could reach out to me at this phone number, 916-507-0493, and we can set up a conversation to either unpack these numbers further or to set up a strategy that's going to work for you, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest. Happy to help you in any of those arenas. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.